May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey. Happy Friday, everybody. You are tuned right in here into May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. And I'm Scott, your host for the next hour, and your summer pool party pal. Look at that, alliteration. And, of course, with me on the air today is the man making all the things light up and the switches and knobs work at Intertalk Radio, and that is Paulie B. How you doing, man?
Good. One of these days I'm going to figure out what all these knobs and switches actually do.
That's right. You'll be like, hey, this button makes things louder. This one goes softer. It's very important work that you guys are doing over there, and hope you're having a good Friday in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to dig into, we're going to have a fun show today. First of all, if you have a question for me, you can always email me at scott@robertsoncom.com, 2 M's from the first com, then .com. I'll answer anything right on the show for you. And that's where you can also find some of my blog posts, rantings, ravings, and, client news and clips and things like that, tidbits from my Robertson.com Facebook page, Twitter at Robertson.com. You can find me there too. So reach out and connect with me. I get a few people every week that send me emails and send me posts and say, hey, I want you to address this topic, that kind of thing. And that's good because hey, it's all about figuring all this stuff out together. And this show actually comes from one of those inquiries I got this week. I wanted to talk about SEO, and I call it SEO. And I was going to do my Keanu Reeves for you. So it's SEO. Whoa. See, there you go. I'm only going to do it the one time, though, so that you have to rewind it a bunch of times if you want to just be enthralled by that awesome Keanu Reeves impression. So we're going to dive into some digital marketing tips and some issues. Kind of keeping your brand in front of the right audiences is really more challenging than ever in today's digital world. And so I think it's important to dig into some of the latest and greatest in, we're going to talk about search engine optimization, which is a highly misunderstood topic, even among people who do it, have it on their business cards, because it changes a lot. We're going to talk about online reviews as well. That's another area of digital marketing that I think scares people and they have some issues with. And so I want to give you some of my perspective on that. We're also going to talk about social sharing, and we're going to talk a little about mobile. We're also, of course, every week we talk about which brands are out there winning and losing out there. And as I said, I promise I'll really only do the Keanu Reeves impression the one time. So you're safe from that for the rest of the entire broadcast. It's all good. So let's dig into search engine optimization. And one of the first questions I get is they say, well, you're a PR person. What do you know about SEO? And I correct people and I say, I'm a communications person. I'm a person that is sort of discipline and tactic agnostic. I am about getting my client's message to their target with as little interruption and as little BS as humanly possible. So, I do a lot of things because of that. And I'm an expert in a lot of things because of that, because you have to be. If you're out there doing communications and you don't understand SEO, you got a big problem on your hands because, it's not just enough to connect with audiences. You need to understand, people are searching for things. They're using, social networks as search engines. They're using the main search engines, of course. Entire businesses built around this kind of thing. And again, it becomes one of these areas with a lot of clouds around it where people don't really understand it. So I thought we could dig into a little bit about, what is SEO today in June of 2016, and what is it not, which is equally important because believe me, there's a lot of things that SEO used to be that if you're doing today aren't going to work out for you very well. So let's dig right into it. So I consider SEO, and I talked to a client this week, and they said, so what should we be doing in terms of SEO? I said, first of all, you need to understand that there's an audience above search engines in the communication hierarchy, and that is human beings, right? One of the things that tech companies and digital marketing companies do very poorly is understand the real game. The real game is not about search engines. That's a step on the map, but the game is about getting the message to the people. Because last I checked, search engines don't have a credit card. Search engines don't have any way to help a business other than just be a way that they can help the business that they're set up for. Google's loving their search engine. That search engine is a mint for them. No doubt about it. But, I think sometimes people prioritize, and you see this a lot, people prioritize the machines over the people. So rule number one, and when you're talking to a communications expert here, so I'm going to say, optimize your site for people first. And then make sure you do things that make search engines happy, but let's make people happy. Let's make people happy. Let's understand that if we're doing technical improvements and creative choices on our website, if we're optimizing for mobile, we are doing it with a primary goal of connecting with our audiences and getting our messages across in a more powerful way. That kind of falls into a bucket that people call on-site optimization. You should be doing this anyway. You should be looking at your website and making sure that your website is, all that fancy word means is it's the best possible experience for your audiences. And that means you're looking at it all the time. Is it still the best possible experience? I know that it was, a few weeks ago. Is it still today? Is it still that customer experience? And you should be looking at other sites. What are the latest things people are doing out there? And you don't have to be a website designer to be able to know that, because every one of us browses the web. We use the web, and we know what works and we know what doesn't work, for our audiences. The next piece of search engine optimization in the modern world is definitely your content. Some people call that content marketing. What I call that is, being able to tell an ongoing story about the brand. I do a lot of blogging and work with my clients, and one thing that you don't want to do, that people do for search engine optimization is, I see this all the time. People say, "Oh, well, search engines optimally like posts that are 1,100 to 1,800 words," and that kind of thing. Great, good for search engines. Human beings don't, as it turns out. Human beings have sort of a culture-wide case of ADD, and they are not going to read 800 words or 1,800 words. They're not going to read 800 words. You're going to be darn lucky if they read 300 to 400 words before they get interrupted by the next puppy video or adorable cat video or crazy thing that happened in the news. It's a brush fire that broke out. I mean, you never know. So you got to catch them while you can catch them. And you got to make sure your content is really good. It really tells that story. Very, very, very important. If you're not a good writer yourself, hire one. Get yourself a ghostwriter. Understand what your brand is and ghostwrite that stuff, man. Get that content out there, because search engines are looking for one thing above all else. How can they deliver the most useful content on a given subject to their audience? Because that's how they're going to be able to monetize it. Search engines do monetize this, and they're going to be able to, that's the way they're going to be able to do it. Let's talk about links for a second, because I think people mess up links a bit. In the old days, it used to be sort of appropriate SEO-wise to just stuff a bunch of links, a bunch of related keyword terms, and just kind of throw the whole kitchen sink. And you see some old web pages, and you see all these links at the bottom. Don't ever do that stuff. Don't ever do that. It turns off the main audience. Remember the people, the oxygen-breathing human beings, audience number one, right? Not search engines, not artificial intelligence. We do marketing for human beings first. And, but in your link building, search engines like to look for your inbound links from other things. So if you're writing great content, people are going to be linking to it. People are going to be linking to it and say, "Hey, I saw this great post today, and here's my thoughts on that, and here's this." Encourage that. You're kind of like a content syndicator, and you're thinking about all the ways that you can kind of put your content out there. And the more that you do that, the higher you're going to raise in the search rankings. And people say, "Oh, I don't have to hire an SEO firm to put a bunch of links." No, you don't. All you have to do is be interesting. Challenge accepted. Being interesting is one of the most difficult things to do in marketing. And people think there's like a shortcut to being interesting. No, just be interesting. That's actually good enough right there. And I would take it a step further, and then when you're at interesting, you're good. But how do you make it great? How do we go even better? How do we make this stuff the stuff that people really want? I do want to talk about social media for a second, because a lot of people think, when they think search engines and SEO, they're like, okay, so that's Google and that's Bing and that kind of thing. Hold the phone. One of the biggest search engines out there is LinkedIn. especially if you're doing professional services and business B2B professional services, you want to make sure that you're using that LinkedIn Publish platform. We might just do a whole show on LinkedIn because there's a lot to say here. But make sure you're tagging things appropriately, because when you go in and somebody types in risk management kind of thing in LinkedIn, the profiles that are going to come up are the ones that have the most interesting content, the one that have the most likes, the most shares, the most engagement on the social side of things. And then the last thing that I want to say about SEO in this rapidly dwindling segment here is local. If you're a local business and local is important to you, and that can certainly be an objective, then make sure that you just have yourself listed accurately on any third-party directories and review sites. Things like, I like if your community is fortunate enough to have a patch.com local micro news feed, make darn well sure that you're putting some of your news out on that, because Patch is very highly ranked. You know what will really kind of infuriate you and also excite you about Patch is the fact that if you get a story on Patch, it will outpace your own website like 3-1 on SEO. It's hysterical to watch, and it'll be there for years. You'll come back and you'll be like, God, why is this Patch story still there? Still there. They're good like that. They get indexed very, very high because they have a lot of good content that people reference in other news feeds. So that's a bit about SEO. Whoa. Come on back and we're going to talk about online reviews, and we're still going to dig into who's winning and losing out there on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, you are tuned back to to the May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. I am still Scott, and we are still digging into all the fun stuff about SEO and digital marketing. And with me here is Paul B. Still hanging in there, Paul, making it all work?
Yes, I am.
Cool. And we were talking on the break. You were talking about the Intertalk Radio website and some of the success that you guys are having with just contenting your way up the search rankings. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, everything you're talking about, we are kind of a proven concept that it actually works because we're less than 6 months old on this site, really 4 or 5 months, and we're just shooting up in rankings and site traffic. And we haven't even gotten to any of like the SEO maximizing and any gimmicks. It's all just putting up a ton of interesting content, making it as
there you go.
Pleasing to the user as possible. The content, good site, and it's just organically it's growing. So everything you're talking about actually works.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's definitely, SEO is one of those things, you have to be steeped in it all the time. It changes all the time. There are other people who write the rules, who have the keys to the kingdom, right? The search engines and stuff. So if you want to be an expert in SEO, and in communications, you kind of just have to be. You absolutely have to stay very well steeped in the different rule changes that people make, especially, Google being one of those to watch in terms of their algorithms. So we talked a bit in the first segment about SEO. I wanted to spend a little bit in segment 2. I want to talk about online reviews. And if there's time in this segment, we're going to talk about mobile advertising as well. I get a lot of questions about online reviews. And when I say online reviews, I mean, person to person, whether it's a Yelp, type of review, or it's just a review on your own site, or it's a, testimonial, or just any kind of feedback that comes in for the business. As you might imagine, knowing what you know about me in terms of public relations, I'm a fan of online reviews, and I'm a fan of good reviews, bad reviews, any reviews, because that means the audience is talking back to you and they're telling you how they wish to be served. Where you want to start worrying is when they get silent on you. It's just like being married, right? As long as you guys, if you're in a fight or whatever, and she goes silent, you're on the couch. You're on the couch for a long time. Let's be honest. So, as long as there's a dialogue going on, you still, have a chance to improve it. What you don't want to see is that, that silence. So let's talk about online reviews. Sort of the good, the bad, and ugly. Reviews are, I think business owners, particularly local business owners, get scared when the fact that they say, you don't want to start out with the expectation. I think I've said this on the show before. I definitely say it all the time in my practice. The fact that not everyone is going to like you. Okay, can I be the first person to tell you that? And it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. Just like in the real world, some people have an expectation that everybody is supposed to like them. Get ready to be wildly disappointed beyond your wildest dreams, is what I would say. People are different, and they like different things. And one may make somebody really excited and really, captivate them and their audience, may be completely offensive to somebody else. And you know what? So what? You got to free yourself from this belief that everyone has to like you. Some of the best brands in the world are like, we don't care if you like us. We care if the people we're trying to reach like us. And maybe you're in that group and maybe you're not. Very, very, very important. I think because when you start with that perception, and I've met with plenty of businesses that say, well, what if somebody says something bad? And I say, what if they do? So what? One person, And then there's like, and they're like, well, is that okay? I mean, is that okay? Yes, it is. Let me direct you to a volume of information that I like to call RottenTomatoes.com. This will be a great primer for you. Any movie that you like, I just go ahead and type it in there, and I'll wait. There you go. So, and you see a rating, right? And you see reviews from people who have seen the movie, right? So some people liked it, and some people said it answered all their prayers, and it was the greatest thing in the whole entire world, and it was great. And then the exact same movie, which is on the exact same file, run by the same digital projector in the same theater to the exact same people, some people come up with a different idea that it was the worst movie ever. It was completely poorly acted. It should never have been made. Anybody associated with it should never work in film again. I mean, and so you ask yourself the question, why is that? Because people are different. What you want to do in your communication strategy is you want to reach the people that you can and cultivate the relationships that you can, but understand that you're not going to be able to cultivate everybody. And give yourself permission for not everybody to have to like you. It's incredibly freeing for your marketing effort. Don't put your PR and your marketing in a situation where everybody has to like you and you only show the good news on your site and you only kind of do it. It's fake. It's super fake. We all know it. We're all watching it. It's like, don't be fake. Be real. Have the courage to be real. And real means if somebody doesn't like your business, Merry Christmas. Tell me what you don't like about it. Maybe we can improve it for you. Maybe we can't. Maybe you're a nut and we don't care. Bottom line is, don't push away the tool because some people might use it that way. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how to handle reviews. There's a lot written on this subject, but I'll give you my kind of 2 cents on the issue. As you might imagine, when you get a negative review out there, somebody doesn't like your business, somebody doesn't like something you said, somebody doesn't like a tweet that you did, somebody doesn't like a radio show that you did, that kind of thing, because they feel like everybody should like you. Good luck with that. Here's how you handle it. You want to thank them. Let's say you get a comment on one of your blog posts, and somebody says, "I really disagree. You're an idiot. Your parents made a mistake when they had you." That sort of thing. You go, "Okay. Thanks very much for your." You want to thank them for the feedback because again, they didn't have to say anything, And then, if it's somebody that you care about, if it's an audience member that you wish to convince, then you have an opportunity to do so either online or offline. I particularly like to take these things offline because it can become kind of a boring thread that's really unique to you and them, and it might bore the hell out of the rest of your audience. So why do that to them? You don't have to handle every single thread of customer service action on your social feeds or anything like that. Try to take it offline. Hey, can we talk on the phone? Oh, wow, imagine that. Talk on the phone. Or can we get an email dialogue going? Can we online chat? Can we do it somewhere else? Not that you're trying to, hide it, but just that it's flat out not interesting to anybody else, unless you think it would be interesting to somebody else, and then you would handle it in that public forum. Here's how you don't handle it. You don't want to get defensive. You don't want to get angry. You don't want to blame them. You don't want to make a bad situation worse by showing that you can't take feedback and by showing that you lack a fundamental understanding of the fact that not everybody's going to like you. Really, really important to know how to handle your feedback, your criticism. Sometimes when I go out and speak, some people raise their hand and go, "Well, I really disagree with what you said," and they'll make some crack or whatever, and I'll say, "Great, it's America. Last time I checked, and you have the right to disagree. I don't have this need in me to convince you of my point of view." It's wildly freeing, by the way, not to have to do that. It's like you are entitled to your opinion. We all are, and that's kind of what makes it great. But again, it's really important to start with that mindset. You start with the right mindset and online reviews are going to become a lot easier for you. It's also important to be secure in your brand. If you're secure in your brand and that kind of thing, and you're not attacking everything by being afraid, then the room is big enough for people to disagree with. And sometimes you can get some of your best feedback from some of your most disgruntled customers. There's all kinds of marketing stories out there about people that not only do they turn around, folks that were really negatively against their brand, but they're able to make those people into huge brand evangelists for them after they turned them around and did what it is they wanted them to do. And I just encourage you to look up some of those stories on your own. I can maybe post a few on the Facebook page, but if you can turn somebody around like that, you can really turn them into a really strong evangelist for your own brand. All right, we just got a little bit of time left in this segment, so I want to talk about mobile ads for a second. Because, when you talk about SEO and things like that, the subject for advertising always comes up. Here is a trend that you want to watch, and it's called ad blocking. A news story came out that said hundreds of millions of smartphone users, many of them in overseas markets as China, Indonesia, and Pakistan, are now blocking ads on their mobile devices, according to a new report. So the report indicates a trend towards the adoption of software on mobile devices from a company called PageFair, which released a report that says 1 in 5 smartphone users now has ad blocking software, and 408 million people are using these ad blocking browsers regularly. The use of ad blockers on mobile platforms is growing at a ridiculous amount in the United States. It grew by 90% last year, according to PageFair. This is an indictment of the marketing profession if I've ever heard it. So what we're saying is people have to invent new technology to block your advertising messages. Marketing world, listen carefully to what the people are telling you. They're saying, stop it. We are going to block you. You are not, make your ads interesting or don't send them to me. It's a clear violation of trust and respect of the audience when you do that. And ad blockers should never have even been necessary if marketing behaved responsibly. Right now, you're listening to the May the Best Brand Win on Air Talk Radio. We're coming back and we're going to talk about who's winning and who's losing. So come on back. See ya.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
You are tuned back to May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. I am still Scott Robertson in segment 3 here, your host for the remainder of our time together. And with me here on the air is Mr. Paul B. How's it going back in Intertalk, man?
Good. Happy Friday.
That's right. Absolutely. So today we've been talking a bit about SEO and digital marketing tips and issues and tricks and stuff. In the first segment, we dug into a little bit about what SEO is and what it is today, and we talked about online reviews in the second segment. The third segment, I always like to turn our focus to, who's winning and losing out there. And again, the entire show could be just this, but there's so many. But let's dig into a couple of them. First, in the winning category, McDonald's and Angry Birds have partnered together for this really cool online thing that they did. It's a 360-degree video experience to promote the Angry Birds movie, which my daughter dragged me to, and the 360-degree video is better than the actual movie itself. No, I'm just kidding. She liked it, but I mean, how much are you going to do with birds, flying into buildings? You know what I mean? There's not a lot of character development that's happening there. So anyway, check out this McDonald's video. It's so cool. It's a 360-degree video. You go in there, and it's like you can watch it with like the little Google thing, the Google Cardboard headset that some people use for like little VR videos. But definitely check it out. It's called the Angry Birds Movie 360 Takeover. And it's really, really innovative and cool. Now, in the last segment, we just talked about ad blocking, right? Do you know what doesn't get blocked? Cool stuff. Cool stuff doesn't get blocked, right? There's no ad blocker that can stop you, that can protect you from you. So if you want to see a 360 video takeover and you've made a piece of content and invest in something this cool, then people, will walk through fire to get it, So it's a real good example of the antithesis of what we talked about as we finished segment 2, which is ad blockers. The reason for ad blockers is boring, unimaginative content that people do not want. This is content that people do want. 4.5 million views on this video already, and it's only been out for like a week or so. So it's definitely in the winning category. Let's move to the Cincinnati Zoo. Tragic event happened this week, where you probably saw the young boy, the toddler, the 3-year-old boy that fell into the gorilla cage, Harambe's cage, and then the zookeepers had to act very quickly to save the boy's life. The video is horrifying of this kid being swished through the water and stuff, and he was seconds from being killed by this gorilla. There's no doubt about it. It's a silverback gorilla. They can crush a car. So it's like I understand what you're talking about here. And but there's a lot of outrage about how they're handling it PR wise and that kind of thing. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. People have asked me online, how I would handle it and that kind of thing. I think first of all, it's a tragedy. The fact that, but it's not the mom's fault that the kid got away, and the kid. Sometimes bad things just happen. All the safety, all the regulations and the safety things in the world that you can have. Sometimes life just has a way of happening. And I don't think that's a good enough answer for us in our modern society. Somebody's got to be at fault. The zookeeper shouldn't have shot the gorilla. That was too fast. He shouldn't have shot him. You know what happens if he doesn't shoot the gorilla? The gorilla at that moment, the kid dies. I got a better one for you. The kid dies, and a bunch of people film it. So just so you know, it was probably the best possible outcome from what could have been a completely horrific outcome. Probably would have closed the zoo. Guaranteed. Okay, toddler dies in gorilla cage, right? What happens after that? Right? Federal government comes in, wants to review everything that's going on in
Scott,
zoos. Yes, sir.
Your audio is kind of degrading. Do you mind?
Is it?
Reconnecting.
Oh yeah. Happy to. No problem. Be right back.
Scott, are you back on?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back.
that sounds better.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So let's see. Where were we? We were talking about Cincinnati Zoo. As I said, I think it's a tough situation. Honestly, it's a very difficult communication situation. I know that people are petitioning for the parents of the 3-year-old boy to be held responsible for the death of the gorilla and that kind of thing. And it's just nobody wins in this kind of thing. Nobody wanted to see the zoo. Sure as heck did not want to shoot one of its gorillas. But again, they were seconds away from having a major tragedy that comes in and plays out in a horrible way there. So I would definitely put them in the kind of losing category, unfortunately for them. Also losing is X-Men Apocalypse out there. They're getting some negative feedback of some billboards they have running for the X-Men Apocalypse film that basically shows the main villain character, Apocalypse, holding Jennifer Lawrence's character by the throat. Mystique, she's all blue with the red hair, and they're holding by the throat, and they're basically saying, oh, this is an example, who's it, Rose McGowan, who you probably don't want to ever look to as a source for anything. But she basically says, there's a major problem when the men and women of 20th Century Fox think that casual violence against women is the way to market a film. There's no context in the ad, just a woman getting strangled. Here's what I'll say about this. It's a movie. First of all, it's a movie, and it's a sci-fi movie. There's no basis of reality here. The guy that's holding her is a guy that has godlike powers that's going to destroy the entire earth, and she is a chameleon is a mutant that can transform her appearance into any other person. So we've waved bye-bye to the actual world a good long time ago in this scene, and it's theatrical. For lack of a better word. Does it promote violence against women? No. I've seen the movie, and both men and women sort of get their butts handed to them by Apocalypse throughout the course of the movie. If you're an X-Men fan and you read the comic book, same thing happens, to be quite honest. So I think sometimes people look at stuff and say, does this advocate violence against women? I don't think so. I think that's another one where the studio should just go, we're sorry you feel that way, but at the same time, we honestly don't care. So let's keep going, though. I want to talk about a branding one real quick. Ruby's, the popular diner, is under fire because it can't quite figure out its brand. They've changed their brand. They said 17-year-old Ruby's Diner, whose service style and decor has flip-flopped over the past 2 years, recently closed a store in Costa Mesa. And I've been watching. I'm a fan of Ruby's. I like it. I liked their old brand. I thought it was very, very good. I didn't see necessarily the reason to come in and make it like a 60s kind of thing. I mean, I thought they kind of owned that nostalgia piece very, very well. But now they have all this brand confusion, and they literally have 2 different types of logos going on, and they've got a giant mess on their hands. Here's rule number 1 for you kids listening out there. Know who the hell you are first. Know who you are, right? And then you can tell the world who you are. Ruby's fell victim to the fact of they didn't quite understand who they were or who they wanted to be before they started saying, and now we're this and that kind of thing. And so they've confused the marketplace, that kind of brand confusion. It's never good. You don't want to do that. In the winning category, I want to talk about Seth Godin. I love Seth Godin. You should definitely subscribe to his blog. He has this great one that is called All Mirrors Are Broken blog post this week. Definitely check it out, called All Mirrors Are Broken. But I love that basically he says not merely because the medium is imperfect, because when it comes to ourselves, we process what we see differently than everyone else in the world does. So important for marketers to understand this psychology. I love the last line of this. He says, no one understands your self-narrative. No one cares that much about you. No one truly gets what it's to be like you, or what it's like to be you. Sorry. That germ of truth you're seeking isn't there, no matter how hard you look in the mirror. And then the last line is the best one. You're not as bad, in parentheses, or as good as you think you are. Really, really important stuff. Not just for like the self-help side of things, but as a marketer, we always talk about, completing that self-narrative and why that's so important. So check out Seth's blog and definitely check that one out. Also in the losing category, I just want to mention this one really quickly. Tribune Broadcasting and Tribune, the company that owns the LA Times and KTLA and all that stuff, has changed its name to Tronc. Yes, Tronc. No one knows what the heck this means. They just rebranded and did a press release today. Let me read this. This is one of the worst press releases I've ever read in my entire career, and that is saying something. It says, Tribute Publishing announces corporate rebranding, changes name to Trunk. Let me read this to you. Today announced the company will change its name to Trunk, Inc., a content curation and monetization company focused on creating and distributing premium verified content across all channels. Trunk or Tribune content captures the essence of the company's mission. Blah, blah, blah. What? If your press release has public relations people going, what? Then you have a problem, folks. And they're a media company, for God's sake. Terrible. Bad news, Trunk. We don't like you. Also sounds like a World of Warcraft character. Anyway, you're tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader on Music Biz Talk. Come on back, and we are going to give you a few digital marketing tips to close things out today. Have a good one. Bye.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you've found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
All right. Happy Friday. You are tuned back to May the Best Brand Win. Hopefully on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. And I am Scott, hopefully the clear-sounding and non-garbled host of the show. And with me here on the air still in segment 4 here is Paul B. How are things going in the studio?
Good. Smooth sailing from now on, I hope.
I like it. I like the optimism. Very good. So today we've been talking about a bit about SEO, and, kind of what it is, what it isn't, that kind of thing. We talked a bit about online reviews. I fielded a couple of questions this week about online reviews, and so I wanted to focus on that in the show a bit. And then we talked about mobile ads, of course, and then, of course, who's winning and losing. And then here in segment 4, I want to leave you guys with a few very cool little digital marketing tips that will help you. There's no way around digital marketing here in 2012 if you want to reach human peoples. So it's very important to understand what you're doing. Tip number 1, just in terms of SEO, and just a little bit of repeat of what I said earlier, just make sure that you are writing and designing and communicating for people first. And the machines, they really will follow. They really will. You don't want to fall into some of these traps where you put up these really long blog posts and say, well, it has a great score that, I see law firms sometimes they're like, well, statistically it says we need to have, 1,800 words. Nobody's reading that. Nobody's reading that, right? It's nobody has time to read it. Even like your friends and family won't read that. I guarantee you. So don't do it, simply put, make sure you're looking at your website all the time and designing for people first. And doing things, again, sort of the antithesis of, always approach your marketing like this. Look at it and say, assume that everyone out there can block you, right? And by the way, it's not a crazy assumption by any stretch. Now, come at it from this perspective. How do we become the thing that they don't want to block? How do we become that? And people say, oh, how do you make a sales message do that? I do it. It can be done. It can absolutely be done. All you have to do is figure out what people want and then, do that. That's what I would say. So make sure that you are having that conversation with yourself in your marketing plan. If everyone in the world could block you, would they? Is your stuff good enough to deserve to make it through the blockers? Earn it. Make sure that your stuff is good enough to make it through the block. Make sure you're the thing that people want to get to, that other people want to, interrupt, and you're that content that other people want to interrupt. And you'll always be on the right side of the marketing fence. You'll never be on that blocked side of things or that skip side of things and everything. And sometimes you see the industry, revolt against that. And I always find that humorous. Like the ad industry says, well, we don't think that, skipping ads, on TiVo and DVRs is really good. We don't want you to be able to skip ads. I said, so, and I play that back like this. I say, so what you're saying is your consumers are engaging in a behavior telling you that the content that you're producing is not engaging enough for them to stay with you. So you want to force them to watch it, and then you want to create a positive relationship with them while they're frustrated and you're making them watch it. Good luck with that, by the way. We're in the relationship business in this side of the fence here, and we're trying to build relationships. We want to do the things that people want, the things that people like. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. So think about that kind of stuff. Tip number 2, again, just think about how you can create truly great content that really attracts. I think too few people do that. Too few people think about how to be an attractor. Tip number 3, engage with people. Have conversations. In the digital space, in the old days, marketers just had to throw up advertising and pray that they worked. They didn't have the technological capability. They didn't have the capability to engage audiences in conversations. Look at the great world that we live in today, where people around the world can engage you in conversations that there's no way you could have had these conversations 10 years ago with people. There's no way. It was not possible to have them. So now as a marketer, you have this whole new color to paint with. Right? And I have marketers that say, oh, social media is such a pain and we have to engage in all these conversations. Have to? You have to engage in all these conversations? Man, you get to. You get to talk to people. You get to have these conversations. As a marketer, that feedback arrow that comes back to you about what you're doing out there is critically important. Somehow in all this technology and digital marketing, getting the arrow to the target got lost somewhere, and the arrow that comes back to feedback that gives you feedback about how you're doing also kind of got lost. Remember, it wasn't so long ago that you'd have to spend thousands of dollars to engage focus groups, which are always wrong. They're always lying. They're always not in tune with what's going on. I could do song and verse and tell you about all the focus groups I've sat through that completely said, oh, we'll buy this, didn't. Come on. So now you have the opportunity to have real conversations with people out there. So don't squander that, and make sure that you are not worrying so much about the vanity metrics. It's not necessarily quantity as it is quality. If you're having a few good conversations a week with your brand, it depends on your brand, but a few good conversations a week is extremely valuable. Seth Godin says, grow your tribe one at a time. Grow the tribe of people that are going to stay, loyal to you and stay with your band, with your brand, with your company. Grow it one at a time. Don't have these overarching, objectives that, if we're not reaching hundreds of thousands of people, then we're not having success in marketing. It's just not true. It's just not true. Tip number 4, ask for reviews. Ask for positive online reviews. Don't be pushy about it, But some companies have some really creative ways about how they ask for people to review them. Ask for the feedback, good, bad, ugly. Again, and tell people, if you're, encourage people to share all their feedback about your business with you. Because then and only then do you have the ammunition that's necessary to be able to make the changes to fix it for them. And that is, your sort of your end game here, right? Your game is not to be, popular or well-liked and all those kind of things. Your game is to, build those relationships with the audiences that you wish to serve in your communications. So, again, ask for those reviews. And when you get great ones, make sure you amplify them. Just as a band example, we played an 80s party down in Newport Beach a couple of weeks ago. Client loved it. Came back and said, you guys made the party. Your band was the best thing. Guess where I put that? Here we go, kids. Guess where that goes? Facebook page for the band. Number 1 answer. And because you want to share that kind of stuff. And if people had a bad experience, I want to hear about that too. Maybe they only liked The Cure and they wanted us to be a Cure tribute band, which we're not. We play a few good Cure songs, but you know what I'm saying. So make sure you deal with any negative reviews out there, and deal with them appropriately. Give people permission to disagree with you and that kind of fun stuff. My last tip is, when in doubt, silence can be an effective marketing option. And this will be a sort of a counter. Most people in marketing always want to talk about, okay, so when do we get to talk? The company gets to talk. But you know what? Silence is important. Silence is really important. In a mix, when you're mixing a band and all of a sudden you drop the drums out and you create a big sonic change in the mix, right? It wakes up the ears, right? That silence, that missing thing. And then you bring the drums back and then you do all this kind of things. Listen to, a lot of your dance music. They bring things in, they bring things out. Do that in your marketing. Make sure that you can dial up that silence every once in a while. You don't always have to talk. You really, really don't. You really don't. Just because your marketing is digital doesn't mean that you shouldn't spend as much time, thinking everything through. Your audiences absolutely deserve the trust and respect. And again, simply doing things because they're easier than ever and they kind of appear to be free doesn't mean they really are. You have a message and it's important, but the way to your prospects' hearts and minds is really to make them, make your thing about their things and attract them. Don't be another pusher out there. Bring them to you. You do that and your marketing is going to be memorable. It's going to be remarkable. That's it for me, kids. You've been listening to May the Best Brand Win right here on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader on Music Biz Talk. You have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next week. Rock on.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way. A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. Pitbullaudio.com.